Yesterday, I didn't really post much for videos. I started recording them, and I'm just kind of like, I feel like I'm just repeating the same type of stuff over and over. There's some conclusion that I've been coming up with that I think that God or the simulation just wants me to be quiet and just start listening more and quit just reacting. I noticed when I see something on Twitter and I think it's like false information or triggering information, I kind of want to react and say my opinion or what I think of things. And I think I just need to just shut up and just listen to people. It has nothing to do with clout. It just like um, I think I just need to take some steps back and just watch and observe. I don't think that me putting out any type of opinion or saying anything is really being productive at this point. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm not going to make videos ever again or even in the next couple of days. I just notice, and it's just, I connect dots, and that's what it seems like that I need to be quiet. I need to stop defending people like Trump and Elon, people that I've never met in person, people that don't even know I exist, and just sit back and see what people are saying. Like, why am I? I'm like tired of fighting. I'm tired of trying to defend people. It's like I'm exerting all this energy into trying to defend these people when it really doesn't really matter what I say. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm pretty much at right now, and it's not because I'm like depressed or whatever. I am mentally exhausted from um, this system, from the way we do things. If you look at the song I wrote, "Walking Contradiction," that really epitomizes where I'm at right now, where I've been at, obviously, because I wrote that song like 3 or 4 years ago, the lyrics. But if you had just go to King Outcast and look at "Walking Contradiction," it's on the album Crypto. Um, but it's I just come to a realization like I'm not gonna keep arguing with these people. I come up with valid arguments, and I'm just tired of. I'm just tired. I have nothing left to give. I mean, if I actually like change people's minds or like it doesn't happen, so no one's really changing their mind at this point. So it just seems like arguing or defending just doesn't really benefit my own personal life at this point. And I think the best thing for me to do is, especially especially the way God works with me is, when I feel confident about something, I kind of like he switches things up on me so I don't lose confidence. So it's kind of like, with the whole idea of me defending tariffs and this and that, and seeing that there was a bunch of jobs where I'm about to go to 2 to 4 weeks ago, and then now it's looking pretty bare. It's like I'm just tired of that. So I think it's just best for me to listen to other people. I think that's where I serve things better in this life, instead of um and kind of taking a step back and then understanding, like, you know don't let things get to me, little things get to me. Walking across this, I'm about to cross the street, and then all these cars come out of nowhere. um or getting upset because like there's constant ads. I'm trying to listen to like some type of Dostoevsky. Oh, I said his name wrong. He's not one of my favorite philosophers, but he's obviously an influential philosopher, and I'm trying to Trying. I'm getting into it, and then all of a sudden you hear an ad. I don't like to watch. I like to listen. Um, but um, yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at right now, and just um, seeing what evolves and quit like because like I've said before in the video, couple videos before this, why am I negative? Because when I think things are going to be a certain way, which logically it should be, and the whole tariffs thing, yeah. I mean, I kind of had that inclination of probably going to be affected by this, trying to find a job where I'm about to go. Um, and that's where I think a lot of anxiety came from when I first lost my job. Like, seeing the landscape of things and um yeah, I mean, I'm pretty fortunate because at least I have somewhere to go. At least I have people that want me to be around, you know what I mean? um and I can adapt to the situation of living with my mom, and trying to not be that much of a nuisance, or some type of negativity in the house or whatever for a while if I have to. Um, but yeah, I've done it before, so um, I think that's what a lot of my anxiety is coming from too. Is I sit here and I can see, like, my freedoms kind of. This isn't really freedom, but like more privacy, I guess I can say. You know, less people around and trying to get used to more people being around. I mean, I'm going to adapt, but um, try, just being more relaxed and stuff like that. So I want to end this video of yesterday. I was feeling kind of horrible about reading it. I was excited that this place called me back and they were gonna have an interview with me today, and they pay pretty decent for I'm about to go. And then I read the job description, because I just look for stuff that looks like it, like stuff that I've done, and then I just throw out an application. I don't need to read the whole job description, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know some of the systems that they're using. I don't even know what it is. And so what I did um, is I took the job description and I put it into Grok. You can use whatever ChatGPT or whatever. And then I took my resume and I basically said, how can I translate my skills to the ones that I'm like missing, like I'm not doing good with, how, and you just ask Grok or whatever AI, to come up with a plan and what to say to, like, you know like some tips, instead of just going in there just trying to not have a plan at all. They throw you off like what your weakness is, and basically like one of the weaknesses I could say is I'm not familiar with the system, but I feel confident that I can learn the system for all the other systems that I've learned on my resume, and trying to ask like what's the best way to get around how I lost my last job. I pointed out I had a attendance problem. Jobs don't like that. And just basically, acknowledging, Grok said, just acknowledge it and say like how you've grown from it, and um, you know, not blame other people, not blame circumstances, just take ownership. And that's what they like to hear. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna try to go for more jobs that I'm not really qualified. That's what I'm gonna try to do. It seems like there's a lot there that there's not qualified, and that maybe that's why I was gonna make this 10, but I don't care. I was going to just go basically back into the grind, um, and not really challenge myself. But I think that I should try to challenge myself and go for something that that does pay more and there is more responsibility. Not really entry level because I feel most comfortable trying to go into a situation where I can actually learn the system, you know, like kind of like when I worked for one of my companies when I became a powder coater. Like I didn't know anything about being a powder coater at all. I had no experience or nothing. And basically I got thrown over there because they had nobody else. Like this they were opening this facility and there's only one guy there and they had literally nobody. They had another guy but he quit and then they had nobody. So like I'm sitting there like stamping parts or whatever, and they decided to throw me over there. And at first, I kind of didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, and I really didn't. there, were, I didn't. I don't really. It was. There was a lot of pain. I mean, there was. I got through it. I learned, and I'm thankful for that. Um, and I did pretty well actually. Like they wanted to make me a supervisor before I left. And it only took me a year. Probably, like honestly, they probably would have looked at me even higher if I would have been more, had a better relationship with management. I tend to I was kind of being distant, not going to Christmas functions that they were doing and just being distant from, and just, you know, not being as welcoming and as friendly, just kind of being, uh, I guess like not kissing their butt enough, or I probably could have got a little bit farther. And that's where I want to pivot this video to is something I wanted to talk about is if you are somebody who tries to tell the truth, um, in this society, it's really hard to get ahead. Seriously, like if you look at it, this society or people in general like lies as long as it doesn't hurt them. You know, for instance, um, if it's not something that's really negative, like it likes white lies. That's what I'm saying. Not like a blatant lie where you're just sitting here like I know how to fix airplanes or whatever, and then I fill out my resume with a bunch of nonsense of things I have no idea about, and then they think that I have some knowledge about. Um, I let's just say I'm good at like I do some studying and I pass the interview. Well, they decided to bring me on because I sat here and prepped up for the interview and I aced it because I was very me not necessarily but somebody else. They're very charismatic of how they might seem like they have like some good knowledge or whatever, and they're good at like perceiving that they know what they're talking about, and in actuality they don't know anything. So once they actually get the job they have no idea what they're doing, and they're just messing things up. Like that's not the lie I'm talking about. I'm talking about making people feel better than they really are. Like people don't want to hear that they're fat, or people don't want to hear this doesn't look good on me. They want to feel like you know you're always in a good mood. There's nothing wrong with you. This is why I don't really. This is why it's been always been hard for me to. I don't like superficial conversations. Um, I like in-depth conversations. and that's hard to find, the depth, in-depth conversations. Um, so yeah, like if you go on a date, right, you're gonna want to put your best foot forward. You're not gonna want to put out like who on their dating profile, or you know, when you go on a first date with somebody, you're like, here's my problems. Here's no, you put like, here's the good stuff. Here's the good stuff. You don't say like, well, um, here's the issues I haven't overcome. This is where I'm at right now. Why did you guys break up? Well, um, whatever their issue was, maybe like, um, maybe like, okay, I'm gonna use me for example. In a hypothetical situation, maybe like I'm insecure, so I like constantly. Well, I did this in the past, but I constantly was saying that she was cheating or whatever. And like, are you gonna put that out there on the first date? Well, I'm kind of insecure and I kind of have trust issues. Like, you gonna put that out there? Like every single every single time, unless like you have a lot of other value and other things, it's just that's not gonna go over too well. So like just telling the blatant truth all the time, it's not really gonna get you far in this system of this reality. The people who get farther ahead are people who kind of mask the crap with um like they mask it, like I said. I don't need to add to that. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how people are in this society. People act like people don't want to, unless they like really care about that person, like they have a really in-depth relationship, which is, I don't know, who knows. I mean, the internet says this. Don't know if this is reality, but people aren't having as much in-depth like relationships nowadays, and people feel isolated. In my own personal life, I see it. But when I go out, people seem to be pretty cool and pretty regular. Like they're not walking around like zombies or something, like all depressed. People would rather be around people who are fake cheerful than somebody who actually wants to tell their problem. They feel weird. They don't know that person. They just want to have a good interaction and just move on with their day. Maybe they're battling through stuff themselves and they're trying to kind of stuff it down and get through the day as well. So, um, yeah, it's a really hard thing to do when you're a straight shooter. I try to be a straight shooter, and I don't try. I try not to hurt people's feelings like in real life. I mean, I've been pretty brutal on the internet, been pretty brutal on Twitter, but um, yeah, I just feel like at this point, I just need to shut up, and I was actually like thinking about not even making any more videos, just trying to drop off. Um, I, d- I don't know. I might. It just depends. Who knows? I really feel like I don't need to put much more say out here. You know, I they, I just seen Mario DeWalt. He posted that by 2033 our national debt will probably be about $58 trillion. So, um, yeah, who talks about this? What regular person talks about this types of stuff? I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, I don't think I don't think that we have to sit here and just go off a cliff. I think that we can be proactive and try to figure out different systems. I mean, with the disruption of, I say like a lot of people are going to lose their office jobs. I don't know. Like, that's just what I assume. I assume, like, when I'm connecting dots, because I'm an abstract thinker, I see like it kind of makes more logical sense to implement AI systems and get rid of office workers to cut waste or eliminate jobs, but maybe they just want to keep eliminating or taking from the people who produce at the bottom. Maybe they just continue. That's what they've always done. So, I mean, they might try to, you know, basically have people work for base. We already feel like we're kind of working for nothing at this point, but maybe it's not even like for nothing. It almost feels like we're taking on we're taking on water on our ship to work these jobs. We're going backwards but I mean it's just I just look at things like there's no way we can continue this. There's just no way without some type of major consequences, unless we, you know, have some things intervened. I don't know what's gonna happen, and maybe the youth is um, they're just gonna keep they're gonna buy into like and just like like the boomers did back in the day and just like completely conform like something will just change. uh I don't know, like i'm seeing I'm seeing there's all these videos popping up from people who have to pay student loan debts, and I don't want to, because like I can sit here and say like um yeah, they took on the debt, right? They took the debt on. Um, and for them to get a free education, basically, like they want a free education. And, some of them went for bad education. And it's like, um, I can see both sides. Like, um, I feel like the student loan debts are like a predatory thing. They prey on the youth, the ignorance, um, to just go to college and and follow your passion. That's follow your passion. Uh, that's um, and then you end up like coming out with a degree that nobody cares about, and you just wasted what 2 or 4 years, maybe 8 years of your life acquiring all this debt, and you have to pay back. I seen somebody. There's this I don't know, lawyer. She said she paid back 90, or she took out like 120 in debt or something, and then she paid back 97, and she still owes like 100. So it's because of all the interest or whatever she's paid on it, and the kids aren't told this, and it's kind of like it is kind of like when you hear when people are in my position are kind of like, well, is my car loan gonna get paid off? Is my you know credit card's gonna get paid off? I didn't ask for this. Um, like I did. When I say that, I mean like I didn't ask for this. Like, uh, the interest rate having to go up to battle inflation and stuff like that, and then my credit card interest went up, and now I have to pay this. You know what I mean? It's and then I have to pay the inflation on top of it. So like, just like getting hit left and right from this society of endless printing money and having to continue to print money to move forward. I don't see. I think things are gonna start breaking, but I could be wrong. Maybe things start flourishing. I think if you if you take out debt and you leverage it the right way, it could fund your life. Just as long as like your return is more than the principal of the debt or however much you owe that month or whatever, and you can just you're making somewhat of a profit. But obviously this the student loan debts and the credit cards and stuff like that is it's I don't know. And also I wanted to throw this in here too is you know I mean I part of the reason why like it's so expensive for us to live like when it comes to rent or housing is yeah, we've had a bunch of people come here illegally. That definitely plays a part in it. But also, like, since a lot of women want to just be single, they don't want husbands, they just want it to be by themselves. We're forced to have to all live separately. That means there's less housing. So if most women were like more traditional and had like um, husbands, they would be living together, obviously. So there that would free up more of supply, and that would make it the housing prices drop or rent because they don't want to just sit on empty apartments. They want people to come in and because they have to pay property taxes and it's not making them any money. It's kind of like if you're sitting here in a hotel and you don't have any people traveling or, renting um, a hotel for the night or for the week, like you're not making any money. You still have to maintain it. Another interesting thing to me is the whole concept of Lana Rhodes and Riley. It's one of these couple porn stars that are wanting all of their content removed from the internet. I don't know if that can happen, um, other than just like banning pornography altogether. I don't see that happening, but it is kind of weird because I guarantee you, I think that she's worth a few million or something. Riley Reed, yeah, and I guess she had a baby and she has a family now, which is cool, whatever. But is she gonna give back the money? You know, I, it's kind of like, well, you're not gonna keep your money then. The money goes back. Like all that money you make goes back. That's not gonna. Do you think that she would still say that, or do you think she's gonna keep all that content up? I don't know, man. Maybe we should ban pornography. I don't know. Like, I've said like in this society, you might as well just have just make prostitution legal because this is a degenerate society, and I think that making prostitution legal is probably really really bad for society. I think that's like the end of it. Like that's degenerate. When you don't feel like when you're getting false false somebody accusing you of something that they agreed to, and then now they want to say like you did something against them, possibly for like financial gain. It's kind of like what it does. It's happening more and more, where it's like false allocation, accusa- accusations against people. What it does is the ones that are real, it makes people not trust those as much. So the ones that get found out that they are lying, they should suffer the same consequences as the accuser. Like there needs to be um more. consequences, and that's what it feels like. It feels like there's not consequences for some people, and then other people's there are. Kind of like the Tim Walz, one of his staffers, I guess, caused over $21,000 of damage of like different Teslas, and I guess like that's being dropped. When you see people rioting and burning down things in the streets in 2020, and you have politicians bailing them out, like where's the consequences? Like there's no like it's you can't just like keep oppressing people and be like you have to live with these consequences if you do this, but these people don't have to because they're better than you. Well, that people aren't going to put up with that for very long. That's people, they'll put up with it for so long, but then they'll act out, because it's unjust. And that's what it feels like. The student loans too, like there's no consequences, but then at the same time it kind of feels like, you know you should have there should be consequences. Not it's a bad situation. It's just a bad situation. you know um like I don't want to see these people homeless or their lives destroyed. I'm not rooting for that, even though that these people hate me just because of who I voted for, because I know how it feels, man. I don't know how it feels to be homeless or whatever, but like I know how it feels to be down on your luck and to feel like the system is completely against me. The system makes me want to, that what it feels like for for me is the system doesn't want me around anymore. I feel like it wants me to just take myself out. Um, that's what I think a lot of people probably feel. And I think, like, I was listening to Big Ward today, and he said he put up a news thing where 49,000 people have killed themselves this year already, and that's the highest ever. Uh, no, and it's easy to sit here. It's easy to sit here and um, be like, they're probably all people that like hate Trump and hate me. Um, but if you knew them in real life and they knew you in real life, you know, things might be a little different. And maybe it's a bad thing that we're so connected. That I'm wondering if the internet has something to do with us being more polarized, because it is becoming more radical. You know, it's becoming more tribal, especially on Twitter. I see it. I feel it myself. You get the emotion going up, even from me saying some things that I normally don't say, or like, hey, like, but it makes me want to rebel and just be like mock and say things that are derogatory on purpose, just to like antagonize, because they, and that's bad. That is a part of me, but it's um people say like the real you comes out on Twitter. Well, that's not all me. That's a part of me. That's the dark side. That's the shadow side, which we all have. And I think that a lot of our shadow sides, or people who use Twitter, it's such constant fighting, just fighting, like my side versus yours. And then you have, like, right now, I've noticed it where Ed Krassicine just, it's always hate on Trump. Everything's hate on Trump, just like the mainstream media. Hate. And then go to flip it to the other side, and I probably was doing the same thing with Biden. Obviously, I'm nobody compared to that guy, but um, I was doing it myself. So it's like you can get blinded by things, and I think a lot of people are blinded by by things where it just blatant hate. And my thing was, I didn't hate Biden. I didn't like him. The big things about him I didn't like is him trying to force things on people that, and it didn't seem like he was really in charge anyway. That's the big thing. Um, that's where a lot of my criticisms go. It's not like if he really did something good for like my personal life and the future of my family, like we started going like into a golden age. You think I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, as long as other people aren't hurt, and it's not like a false sense of a illusion that like it's good right now, but people like, okay, so hypothetically right now, um, if they decide to print out more money, you know, that'll cause inflation. So it'll feel good right now. You'll feel relief right now. But when all the prices go up, we're gonna be right back to 2022 again. And you know, I don't know. Well, when you see big banks getting bailed out because they're too big to fail and stuff like that, it's there's no consequences for these people, and you know, I see it from both sides. I see like the government's a problem. I see the corporations are the problem. Um, I see just like like Elon having all these kids. He's having all these kids, but he doesn't have any time to be their father. So essentially, he's like, it's one thing, to have a bunch of kids and like you're in their life. Like, how does he have any time to be in their life? Um, on the level that they need. Essentially, he's like doing what, creating a bunch of fatherless kids. That's what he's doing. And this is and I'm against that because I think that's bad. I think like the best environment for kids to be raised in is like the nuclear family, where you have the mother who stays home and takes care of the kid up until a certain age till that kid is more independent and not needing the mother as much, and then she can go do her thing, become that boss woman or whatever. And I think that like I think they're both important, like the mother and the father, but like I think that the there's more importance at different stages of the development of the kid's life. So like, the dad needs to be in the kid's life when they're young too, but the mother is most important. But she becomes less important because the kid starts becoming more independent, especially, seeing that father figure as that example. And that's where the father figure comes into development, is when they're teenagers, like being that example and being in that kid's life day to day. And I just don't see it. Like, I don't see how Elon has the time to have all those kids. I think that he would, if he really cared about, um, like he keeps saying we're gonna go extinct. I don't fucking care. Like, seriously, if humans go extinct in 100 years or 200 years, oh well. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Um, like, I don't think that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I mean, we're all gonna go extinct anyway. Like, we should all probably be eaten up. We're never gonna get off of this. We're never gonna get off of this solar system unless we figure out how to be able to travel very quickly to another planet without having to damage ourselves. And we don't even know what those if those planets can sustain us. We don't know if like the bacteria or the different like viruses in those planets, we'll just have to sit in a bubble the whole time in those planets. Like, like the biology is completely different there. So even if we can hypothetically go to somewhere, at some point it's all going to come to an end. Everything that we've created will probably be destroyed at some point, unless like there's some type of other intervention. If you just look at what's going, they don't know what the universe is. You know what that is. You got a bunch of highly smart people that think that they know what the universe is, but they really don't. It's just hypothesis and it's just theories. Um, we're so far away from anything else that could be like a life sustaining planet that in my lifetime and in my kid's lifetime, and it doesn't, I don't, maybe technology keeps progressing, but to the point where people can go to other planets. I don't know. Maybe there's some aliens that have some type of high technology that they're like, okay, we're going to help these people out or whatever. I don't know. I don't see it, but um, like why would I care about humans in 2,000 years? Like seriously, do you think that the regular person 2,000 years or even 100 years really ago probably like really cared about 100 like people 100 or 100 like how much do you really care about people? Like you care about your kids and your grandkids, but like beyond that, like dude, the dinosaurs have been wiped out. Like even if we can get off of this planet and go to hypothetically Mars and sustain life there, there's no guarantee that's gonna last either. You know, we have to like uh, we have to rely that some type of um, other force, godly force, isn't in charge because and I've seen it, man. I seen Trump should be dead right now. Um, he should be dead. That first bullet was on target, man. He turned his head the right time, man. That was a miracle right there. I witnessed a miracle. Um, and that's being played down. I think that like there's so much news being thrown at us on purpose, intentionally. Like we're overwhelmed with news. If you follow the news or whatever, to try to get you to forget things, try to get you to what they say memory hold or whatever. They try to like to distract you. I don't know. I think it could be AI. It could be people, the elites, but it's like a fire hose of just constant breaking news. Breaking. We're always like on like what's breaking now? What's breaking now? Oh man, it's like we're all sitting here on Twitter. What's next? We're like, what's gonna pop up next? Like it's a casino. It is. It's literally a casino. I'm sitting there on my news feed. Like, what's gonna pop up next? Oh man, this. Oh no, Ed said this. Blah blah. Yeah, and then you just kind of like you kind of forget uh, crazy stuff like Trump was almost they tried like somebody tried to like they tried to kill him twice. That's a big thing, man. And it's almost made light of. It's almost people aren't impressed anymore because I feel like we have too much access to information. So for instance, you know, somebody seeing me dribble behind my back or something like that. Well, 20 years ago, people would be like, well, that's pretty sweet. Well, now people are just like, and we're being like completely desensitized to um everything just seems dull. That's what it feels like dull. I feel like we're like domesticated. I feel like we're in cages. I feel like we're already in prison. That's what I feel like. But I feel like we're even though I'm making this video and I might seem like a independent thinker or talk about stuff nobody's talking about, I'm still in the cave, like the Plato's cave. If you look that up, we're still need this. We still need to listen to what's next. Like sit here. It's like a casino. Those people are like the slot machines. Like they compared that to Facebook. It's the same with Twitter, man. It's a dopamine. We need that dopamine release. Um, I've been trying to get off of this and trying to be more into reality. I mean, I still listen to stuff, but I need to I'm trying to connect with other humans more, even me planning on, because I'm an awkward person and my mind goes blank a lot because it's just like there's so much that there's nothing. There's so much that there's nothing. There's so much knowledge that there's nothing at that time. And for me, it takes a little bit of time for me to get warmed up to be like for the knowledge to come out, because it's like, where do I start? Like if I'm talking with somebody, where do I start? That's why I think you can see on some of my videos where I'm kind of really slow to get information out, and then all of a sudden I can just go boom, 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 kind of like this, like just I can start, it starts flowing. I mean, that's just me, so I don't think that affects normal people. Probably because the trolls are probably right about me, but it is what it is. Mm. Um, I think that people are just. I think that people in the future will just the technology. We're using it too much. I think that we're relying on technology too much and not human interaction as much. And then I think that it's giving people, instead of like serving us, but we're serving it. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm creating AI, but there's only so much. Like my when I was smoking weed last month, and I love smoking weed. Oh man, I wish I could smoke a joint right now. I kind of don't, but because like um, I got a lot of time on my hands, so I kind of want to, but then I don't. I got some stuff to do. I got some stuff to take care of, um, but back then I don't need it. But it's just something to relax my mind, because my mind's always moving. It just chills me out. That's why I like to smoke. Um, but I was doing it way too much, to the point where like every hour I needed to light up a joint because I was smoking it so much. The reason why I was doing that is because I knew that um, I'm going to go through a point in my life where I'm not going to be able to smoke weed for a long time, because I need to be more of an adult. That's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to be, get away from the creative process. Like I don't have any creative juices right now, really, anyway. But um, trying to get away with that little kid stuff, like making music or art, and that stuff doesn't. It's not serving my life. So I need to be more of a go to more of being an adult and trying to make money, because it's not serving my personal life. It's not doing anything. It's not funding it. Like it's kind of worthless. So I don't need to continue that. So anyway, so like I was smoking so much where I would almost go like, I don't really want to. I'm kind of tired of being high, but I would force myself because I'm like, I'm not gonna be. I'm just getting this all in right now. And I'm not gonna be able to do it for. It'd be cool to just to feel comfortable where I could smoke here and there, and you know, not have to always be high because I don't always want to be high. It's cool to be high every now and then, but not all the time. Um, and I think that's where a lot of people are gonna get to at some point. Some people are starting to wake up to it, where they're like, um, I don't have. I think that's what happens with women when they're career women and they become independent and like they get to be like in their 30s and they realize I don't have a husband or kids. What is this materialistic life really serving me? It's never ending. I can't ever stop this because if my whole existence is just consumerism, then there's no point to me. I have no like I'm just consuming. That's it. Like I'm not giving anything back. What am I leaving? What legacy am I leaving? What impact am I having besides just the superficial things? Like just continue to um, buy, and then I'll continue to drink or do drugs, and that's it. Um, you know, and then they realize there's something missing from my life. It's maybe because it's too easy. Maybe they feel like it's too easy. Um, they just feel like maybe they need a higher power, and that's missing too. Like, and they just realize there's no point. There's no point. Like, what am I doing? It's old. Consumerism is cool for a little while. It's kind of like sleeping around. Like, oh man, I had so much. What is that? Dopamine rushes doing that. It's amazing. It's a good feeling, you know. Um, but then it gets boring. I'm not the only one that said this. That there's other guys that have said this too, where it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, which sounds weird. It really does. It sounds weird, but it's just we're not meant to just sleep with a bunch of people. We're not meant to be around a bunch of people. We're not meant to connect with a ton of people, man. Some people are for sure, but not most of us need to be around people that we're familiar with. We need to see the same people all the time. When I go to the store, I need to see the same person. Like, and I think that that's the thing is we're so it's kind of. I feel like the reason why I relate to Gen Z is because I can the isolation. I've I was there, kind of there first. Um, and not to the I don't know. I just relate to them. Not and I wasn't there first, but you get what I'm saying. Like in my generation, people weren't as isolated as they are now. And then you can see this with artists and before like a probably Jim Morrison or Kurt Cobain or any of these people who you know in their generation they feel isolated. You probably like people like Tesla felt the same, and but to have it on the grand scale that we have it now is it's not good for society. We need to be around familiar people. Okay, that's the thing is we need to be around familiar people because that's you have trust. If you can't trust people, man, you have to. If you want to have a civil society, you have to be around people you trust. Um, sometimes it's good to take a step back from progression too. Progression is good, but then I think that like taking a couple steps back and then kind of like seeing where you came from is a good thing too. But in this society, a lot of people probably feel like they can't. They can't take any time off from work because the grind. They're always having to grind. Because if they don't, then they'll be, like it almost seems like this is intentional, man. Like they want it to. They want you to either grind or you're gonna be homeless. Like there's no dude, I have a lot of trauma, man. I need to go to like a 6 week retreat and just take a pause and try to take some try to have some self reflection. Try to better myself. Try to get on a better diet and get rid of the toxins out of my body. Try different things out that is like fasting and bring up some of those emotional traumas and try to get rid of them. People don't have the time, they just have to keep moving forward. I mean, I remember like one of my biggest traumas when me and my ex-fiance, I had to end that. It was a mutual thing, but I mean, I ended up blocking her. That's why I said I ended that because she tried to hit me up after I blocked her. I knew because I could see like some of the messages that after a couple months I unblocked her and I couldn't read them, but I could read a little bit. It wouldn't let me read into every individual, but I don't know. It was kind of weird. But I had to keep moving forward, and I think that some people just kind of need some time to, and we can't because we have to keep moving forward to keep the system moving forward. That's why, and I know it sounds weird, um, but like even in the old days, I don't think that people were working nonstop, like fielding their fields. I mean, crops only grow at certain times of the year, right? So what are they doing for the other time of the year? You know what I mean? Like probably what usually happened in the old times is people would work really hard through the summer. That's why you get the ant and the rabbit or whatever when the rabbit's just kind of relaxing and enjoying summer, and the ants are working hard getting ready for winter because I think that people in winter times they would work hard during the summer to get as much stored away as they possibly could for a winter, because during winter they probably did a lot of fasting. Honestly, they probably were. I mean, they probably chopped wood and just stuff like that, but they were storing up for winter to get through winter, and that's like they weren't always sitting here working. They probably had a lot of downtime. I don't think that they were just working 7 days a week, 16, sun up to sundown, 365 days a year. I don't think that they were doing that. I think that like getting a week off or 2 weeks off a year is pretty ridiculous. Um, I think that we can try to balance things and try to make things better. Um, I think that people need to have more humility. That's what I think. I think people need to be happy with what they have. Like, for instance, I'm not really motivated to um, acquire. If I had a house, I'd be happy with that. Um, Unless it was dilapidated or something like that, and I needed to maintain it. But like, I want, like Tim Pool said last night, you know, people should get married and not get divorced and be with it, you shouldn't be doing this. And I got divorced. People should try to work things out. I don't think we have enough time to work things out. I think so many people are just broken nowadays. That's what I think. I think so many people are broken and they don't have any time to try to fix themselves, they just have to sweep it underneath the rug. The whole reason I brought up my ex-fiance because I basically had to just sweep it underneath the rug and keep going to work. Like, you can only do that for so much, man. And now I'm to the point where I really don't care about acquiring that, like, a really fancy car. Um, and I think it it's weird to see that people who are older than me that should be more about relationships are just still worried about superficial things. I think that's indicative of their maturity. And my maturity is probably pretty bad. I think I did a lot of damage to my brain, my frontal cortex, doing drugs and drinking before I was 25, before it developed. Um, I do say this is I probably would be further if I have dementia right now, which I don't, but I do have like some forgetfulness. I do think that I would be farther along if I didn't have to adapt so much in my life. I'm kind of tired of adapting, honestly. I don't want things just to be regular, but it just feels pointless. I think that's what people are kind of getting to the point where it just feels pointless. You know, you see a new car you want, oh, that car's sweet, and then you're enjoying it. You feel good about it, and then you realize you get to the point where the newness wears off, and then, maybe some people are impressed, maybe they aren't, and then you just become a slave to that car, and then well, I want a newer car. Always want something newer. I want a newer. It's just like can't be happy with what you have. Like, yeah, that would be cool to have a new iPhone or a new Samsung phone, but like, I'm content with my phones, man. They do what they need to do. And in fact, the one I'm recording right now, it has a cracked screen. It's been cracked. This phone I'm recording, I think I've had this phone for 3 years now. And I have another phone just like it. Um, for when this one stops working. Uh, but like I don't me me having like a new car or something is more about like not having to worry about it breaking down. It's not like to show people like I'm excited. It's just I don't want to have to worry about breaking down. Well, my car right now is like it seems like there's something wrong with the transmission. It feels like it's been like that for a while, honestly, and I'm trying to baby it. I'm trying to baby it. I don't even have the car paid off, and it feels like we just become slaves to possessions, man. And you can only go so far where you're like, I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. And it just becomes like, now what? You get to there, okay, now what? It's a never ending cycle of consumer, like, I think that we're always trying to like fill a void. I think I think when you see these young women with all these tattoos, they're trying to fill a void. They're trying to not look at trauma. I was thinking about doing like a darkness retreat where I just sit in darkness for a day. Complete darkness. I can't do that right now. I mean, if I would have found that out, I found some YouTube channels popped up, but it's a little late for me to do that. Not, I wish I would have found it like a couple months ago. I would have definitely done that. You know, I fasted for 107 hours, but it would have definitely been cool to do it then. But maybe sometime in the future. I could always do it in the future. But I think that they say it like calms the brain. I don't know. And that is kind of scary, man. Just you sit by yourself, nothing going on, just thinking, just you and your brain. I seen this little video and it showed how weird people are without a cell phone, and it showed this woman is sitting in her car looking at her cell phone, and then it took another video of the same person in the car just with no cell phone, just looking straight ahead, and then this guy sitting in, you know, in the bathroom on the toilet. Well, I mean, it was just mimicking it. He wasn't really going to the bathroom, but same thing. We're conditioned to be in the matrix. Do you see how like we we're conditioned for that? People are always glued to their phones, especially the youth. They can't get off of them. Well, how can you come up with any independent thought, any type of idea, if you have like no boredom? And I'm guilty of this too, because I'm always listening. I'm like, it's a little bit less now. It's still there, I'll put on like my favorite podcast or whatever. Tim Pool's my favorite. You can hate on me, say I'm a Russian asset, whatever. That's what they say. But like, I think he's pretty balanced, man. I think like he was ripping on Elon, he was ripping on Trump. I mean, obviously he supports Trump, but I think he's pretty balanced. I don't think he's far right. I think that he's pretty much a moderate. I think the people who say that people who are far right, like Tim Pool or someone like me, are far left. They're the radicals. Um, he's not right wing. I mean, here's the thing: is like, in some aspects, I'm conservative, okay. In other aspects, I'm liberal. I'm a mixed bag, and for the people who are on the left, and I know people don't hear about politics, but this has to deal with relationships and stuff. What's happening right now is um, they're in a bubble in a cult, and yeah, it's and they say I'm in a cult. I bet you that they're not they're online all the time. Everybody's online all the time, including me. I'm in there too, but I've noticed having this time to myself where, I do have some independent thoughts, and I mean, obviously, if I'm making these videos, walking around, I'm not listening to anybody. So these are my own thoughts. Um, but people can't, people don't want to listen to anybody else. So people want to be heard, but they don't want to be listened to. So, like, for instance, when you're having a conversation with somebody, you need to have the capability to listen to what they're saying and not get on your phone. But, like, you need to say like people just want, they just, if you watch one of the, I didn't like that. A lot of people like the Temple one. I think it was Monday. This one, like, journalist or whatever, she was just like talking, and they were like talking over each other constantly, and it's like it was really bad. I didn't like it. A lot of people were entertained because of the drama, but I was kind of like taken back because I don't like that. I like to. It's too much going on. It's too, and it was pretty quick. Like, I can't take in, like, they're just going too much back and forth too quickly. Maybe, they're probably way smarter than me or whatever, but like it's just too much information to take in that quickly, and it got to be like, that's what it got to be like. And they're just talking, or just, when you hear people yelling at each other, there's nothing productive in that discussion. It's not a discussion, it's just yelling at each other, yelling over whoever's the loudest wins, and there's no, like, that's what I've noticed with people nowadays is they definitely want to talk about themselves, or they want to talk about what their thing is, but they don't want to listen to the other person at all. It's just a one-sided thing because people are all into themselves a lot. Um, Not everybody, okay, but it's a lot different from what I've seen in my lifetime. And I'm an advocate for technology. I am. I think it's good, but I think we need to balance it, you know. I'm thinking, like, all these years, like the past 10 years of all this content I've taken in, and I think I've overcame some things in my life, and dude, there's only so much you can really do. Like, there's only so much you can really fix, you know, and keep moving forward in this society. you know, there's been a lot of self reflection in this, um, 3 months that I've had off, and who knows how much more time I'll have off. But the the technology should be benefiting us. We should be controlling the technology. The technology should be serving us, and it feels like it's the opposite, and it feels like it's getting more and more. So maybe we have a bad AI, and that's one in charge, or that's what people are creating, and made me kind of wonder, um, when I'm here's the thing is, when AI sees us all like fighting each other, what is that gonna make? We're constantly bickering. What is we're I wonder if we're the ones that's creating the bad AI, because the AI wouldn't know any different. I don't know. This video is pretty long, and I, I'm definitely gonna post this video, but I think that people need to have more balance. Your possessions should be serving you, not you serving your possessions. And that's what it feels like we're at. We're serving the AI gods. We're creating an AI god and we're serving it. It's not serving us, our possessions. It's not serving us. It's supposed to aid, it's supposed to help our lives. But at this point, with economics, the way things are, it's not serving us. It almost feels like a liability. My car feels like a liability. It shouldn't feel like a liability. It should feel like freedom, man. But I don't feel like I can go wherever I want because it costs a lot of money. Even if I had a job, I still wasn't going nowhere. Pretty much been sitting in this apartment for the last 2 years, honestly. Because economically, I can't feel like I feel like I can't. I have to like, be completely. I have to watch what I spend, how much I spend, how much more debt I incur. I felt like this for a while. This isn't just the last 2 years. I think that the lockdowns did some serious damage to our society. Don't know if it can be repaired. I, I don't know. Um, I feel like that if they wanted to depopulate the world, that they're winning. They got what they wanted. Um, I don't understand the logic though, because the people are gonna age. So what are they gonna do with aging people? I don't get. They're just gonna just like euthanize them all. Is that what they want to do? Maybe they want us to try to euthanize ourselves. Maybe that's what they. Maybe I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mix. I'm not anti technology, man. I'm really not. But we are living definitely unnaturally, and it just seems unsustainable to me. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just. I could be wrong about everything, man. I could be wrong about the monetary, our financial situation. Everything's hunky dory. Everyone acts like it, but that's why I say that a lot of people like lying. They don't want to know that you're having a bad day. They want everything to be like, oh, everything's good, man. Hey, how you doing? Good, good. You ask someone, that's kind of like a thing I ask people now, or I've done. Be like, how are you doing? What's the words behind that? Well, it's considerate to ask somebody how they're doing, but do you really care about how they're doing? Or you just want them to get away from you? Are you just trying to be polite? No. If you weren't, but like I said, this is a society of lies. Because if someone asks me how I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing good. They don't know me very well, then they'd be like, oops. I only said that because I just wanted to be polite. I don't really care. It's all a bunch of superficial connections, fake superficial connections with most people. And I think that some people that we're supposed to be in our tribes. That's what I think. We're supposed to be around familiar people, family. Not just family, but like we should branch out to get to know other people, have other friends, but like we don't need a bunch of like people following us or a bunch of friends on our Facebook like we're like we're in high school and get to be older. You need to have people in your life that you trust. That has your back. Doesn't feel like that is. I think a lot of people are just. I think that a lot of people are just lying to themselves. I think it's been like that for a while. This isn't something new when it comes to that. Anyway, that's it.